Welcome to the Great Oscar Race, Part 2, as of early December 2023. I'm Tickets Please Reviews, and I'm pissed that neither Megan nor Five Nights at Freddy's made the visual effects shortlist. As promised earlier, I'm back with a fresh list of Oscar contenders in the writings, visuals, and audio categories, along with the other Best Pictures. The shorts won't be covered until the shortlist comes out on December 21st. So expect the next videos around that date. Let's start with Best Adapted Screenplay. Leading the rate right now is Killers of the Flower Moon, with Oppenheimer in second. I think this could well be a reverse of the directing race, considering the directors of both of these wrote or co-wrote the films. But Oscar voters could decide to share the wealth and give Cord Jefferson an Oscar for American Fiction in third. Other contenders in the top 5 are Poor Things, which is not written by director Yorgos Lanthimos, and The Zone of Interest. The second tier of contenders begins with All the Strangers and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The tier ends with coming-of-age drama Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret, the musical The Color Purple, and drama Blackberry about the rise and the fall of the world's first smartphone. While awaiting the verdict of Barbie's script from the Academy, we'll trust the WGA ruling that it's under original screenplay for the moment, as it continues leading for now. The Holdovers and Past Lives stay steady in second and third, and rounding out the top 5 are Anatomy of a Fall and Maestro. The second tier continues its consistency as May-December. Air and Saltburn stays where they're at in places 6 through 8. The changes start with number 9 as Origin rises a spot and continue with number 10's Fair Play as it climbs up 4 notches. And that concludes our look at the written page. Next up are the film's visuals. We start with film editing, which is vital to be taken seriously as a Best Picture contender. The top 2 remain where they are, as both Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon stay. Barbie moves up a spot to take third, Poor Things drops a notch to fourth, and Maestro rounds out the top 5, going up 2 spots. The 2 films it moved past, The Holdovers and American Fiction, drop a notch to 6th and 7th. Ferrari and Anatomy of a Fall remain where they are at 8th and 9th place. And rounding out the top 10 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, which rises 4 notches. Over in cinematography, Oppenheimer and Killers of the Flower Moon hold on to the top 2 places. Poor Things rises a spot to third, switching places with The Zone of Interest. And hanging on to that last spot for now is Maestro. In the second batch of contenders, The Color Purple and Saltburn switch spots in 6th and 7th. Ferrari and Napoleon both rise 1 spot, and rounding out the top 10 is El Conde, the Netflix original film from Pablo Larraín, which jumps from 11th to 10th. The word for makeup and hairstyling is change. Although Maestro and Poor Things stay where they're at the top, Guardians of the Galaxy takes over 3rd place from 4th, and Barbie falls back a notch. And Naiad swims up 2 strokes to end the top 5. The Color Purple goes up 6 notches to begin the second tier as is Oppenheimer for 7th. The Iron Claw drops 3 spots out of the top 5. Napoleon holds steady, and Coda loses a couple notches to round out our top 10. Now with production design, Poor Things leads the way at the moment with Barbie in a runner-up spot. Oppenheimer rises a spot to 3rd as Killers of the Flower Moon slides a notch to 4th, and the top 5 rounds out with The Color Purple. Napoleon seizes the 6th spot as Wonka falls to 7th. Maestro plays its way in the 8th place as Asteroid City drops to 9th, and The Zone of Interest rounds out our top 10. Next up are the costumes. Barbie is the top clothes horse for now, with Poor Things and Killers of the Flower Moon remaining in the top 3. The Color Purple and Wonka both rise a spot to round out our top 5. Oppenheimer drops a couple of places as Maestro and Napoleon rock steady in 7th and 8th spot. Rounding out our top 10 is Riser Asteroid City, and remaining in place, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Now on to visual effects. They dropped the first shortlist, and it definitely shook things up. Outer Best Picture contender Oppenheimer, live-action remake The Little Mermaid, and the superhero action flick The Blue Beetle. In our blend of superhero movies, Naiad and Godzilla -1. So let's take a look at how the West has changed. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is now in first place. Creator has fallen a spot to second. Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse cracks the top 3, with Dungeons & Dragons, Honor Among Thieves, and Napoleon taking the remaining spots in our top 5. The second tier begins with Poor Things and Barbie, which both make huge jumps. Spots 8 and 9 are now held by Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny and Transformers Rise of the Beast. And now over in 10th place, we have Wonka. This concludes the visual portions of the Oscars. Now up the audio portions. We start with Best Sound. No changes here is Oppenheimer, Maestro, Killers of the Flower Moon, Ferrari, and The Zone of Interest remain in the top 5. Over in the second tier, we begin with The Color Purple and Napoleon, which both stay where they're at. The Killer fires up 6 notches to land at number 8, and Barbie and Society of Snow wrap up the top 10. Now we take a look at the original score, where we have Oppenheimer, Killers of the Flower Moon, Poor Things, and Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse remain where they're at. Elemental takes the 5th spot for now. Over in the next 5, we have The Zone of Interest in number 6, as Society of Snow slides a couple notches to 7th. The Color Purple debuts at 8th. Past Lives and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny round out our top 10. Next up is Best Original Song. Leading the way are 2 tunes from Barbie, What Was I Made For, which remains in first place, and I'm Just Ken. Road to Freedom from Rustin lands at number 3, and the top 5 rounds out from This Wish from Wish and Keep On Moving from The Color Purple. Over in the second tier, we have The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot at number 6, pending its approval by the Academy. It Never Went Away from American Symphony, For the First Time from The Little Mermaid, Peaches from the Mario Brothers movies, and Better Place from Trolls Band Together cover the rest of our top 10. And this takes care of the audio portion of the race. Next up are the other Best Pictures. In the documentary feature race, it is American Symphony that continues to lead the way. The next 2 spots are held by 20 Days at Mariupol and Beyond Utopia. Closing out our top 5 are Kokomo City and The Mission, the latter of which just recently dropped on Disney. Over in the second tier, we got Still, a Michael J. Fox movie, The Eternal Memory, Stand from the Beginning, and Selm, which is directed by Wim Wenders, who also did Perfect Days, a contender for the International Feature Film. And last but not least, we got Silver Dollar Road, rounding out our top 10, a nice mix of documentaries to be sure. Over in the International Feature category, The Zone of Interest remains at the top while the other films around them shift. The Teacher's Lounge and Perfect Days take up the next 2 spots by raising up a notch, and the top 5 is concluded with 20 Days in Mariupol and 4 Daughters, the Tunisian entry. The second group features a couple of fast risers and Do Not Expect Much from the End of the World and Totem, along with A Taste of Things, The Promised Land, which of course features Mads Mikkelsen, who ended up winning the European Award for Best Actor there, and the animated Polish film The Peasants. In those two categories, a short list of announcement on December 21st might bring some clarity to the category, but if the pass is any indication, it could also lead to some chaos as well. Finally, in the animated feature category, the two-way race between Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse and The Boy and the Heron continued. And we've seen this with both the Golden Globes and also the AFI and NBR lists. It's really going to come down to those two. The other three are just there more or less to fill out the category. And speaking of which, the other three films that round out our top five are Elemental, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, and They Shot the Piano Player. Our next five consist of Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget, Wish, Netflix's Nimona, the Super Mario Brothers movie, and The Peasants. This would take care of the other categories in the great Oscar race of 2024. Be sure to like and leave a comment, particularly if you think I'm wrong on something. Don't forget to subscribe and spread the word. I'll see you next time here at Ticket Squeeze Review. Views, as the booth is now closed.